Hey, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Az. We are back here. We are going to be running the hard difficulty for the Spider Tower just before she is over here. I did run the Omega version already, and so I do want to apologize that my roster is definitely oversized and more geared for the Omega. So again, I didn't really know if this was going to be beneficial for people, but I've been getting so many questions on YouTube, Discord, Reddit. It's just, yeah, it seems like people are definitely for sure asking for it. So hence, here it is. And I was trying to slowly work on it throughout the weeks here, of course, throughout throughout the day when I have time, either at home or when I'm working and I get a minute or two so I can play a node or so. Yeah, because otherwise if you do all the nodes at once, it's just, yeah, it's a very lengthy process. But anyways, hopefully this helps you guys out here. It is fairly straightforward, and again, the nodes are slightly different from the Omega, so just keep that in mind. And like I said, my teams are pretty geared up and tiered, and they are pretty much built for the Omega version. But I'll run through this from start to finish so you guys have something at your fingertips if you guys need it.
All right, before we begin, just want to quickly chat about the teams here, and you guys can kind of see the gear tiers and the levels as well. For the first week, we'll throw our Thunderbolts and our Orcus and also our Immortal Weapons at the first three. Again, fairly reasonable since these are all raid teams, and then we'll use our Quicksilver Symbiote and Carnage. This one should have Carnage instead of Null here. So I am noticing some oopsie toodles. So apologies there. I'll have to get that fixed here before the code is shared. Then Insidious 6. Again, raid meta. So trying to keep it relevant. Trying to keep Odin, Liss, and Xavier off the board. Vigilantes. And then, of course, as well, we have Null here in this fantastic 4 section. So you can probably... you can't use Null in that other one. So it was just the oopsie. Global... we can take advantage of this one here, and it doesn't really matter who the fifth is. I think I had Omega Red in there, but he didn't do anything. And then Exalted X-Men with Old Man Logan, and then we finish things off with Amazing Avengers. This last team doesn't look correct either. I think I had Blade in this one, so apologies there. Have to double check my homework later. This one I think should have. I think we should have Blade in here. My apologies, guys. We'll just plop them in here now, so I can adjust the code later. And I do believe it was... Oh, man, I'm trying to remember which character it was. I might have been Captain Sam that was in here instead. But, yeah, I'll update it. Second week, Vigilantes, Immortals, and then we do Orcus plus Mephisto and Emma to stop all the speed from the Alpha Flight. Then we use our Insidious 6... Or, sorry, not our Insidious 6, our Hive Mind plus Venom. We'll use Insidious 6 after that one. Green Goblin Classic is pretty much a requirement there because he gives the speed. Then Exalted X. Old Man Logan can be subbed in as well. Fantastic Four plus the Galactic. Omen plus the Shadow King team. Then we have our Symbiote 6 again. And then, yeah, I think this is the correct lineup now. So this one should have been the other team as well here. So my apologies again. Third week, we'll use Galactic Council plus Mephisto and Jeff to take out the Odin. Then we're able to use the Daemon Bomb against the Phoenix Force. And then we can use Daring Warriors and Sentry against the other Daring Warrior team. Then we take advantage of some different comps here. I don't believe these ones are correct either. My goodness gracious. It was I believe it was a Spider Society plus Vigilante. But most of the characters I think are on there. I do believe I took Breaker out because Breaker was too massive. I think I'm gonna delete that one here. I should have checked my homework here. Trying to rush this video and did not do the homework side of things there. But it should have been, I believe, Weaver. Let's see here. Let's go into Spider-Verse. This is some pretty sloppy stuff as. Let's see here. Spider-Verse. It should be Spider-Verse at the bottom. And I do believe, yeah, Vulture was key here. Then we get the ability block. And I think it might have been Doc Ock or Sable. We'll just throw that in there, and apologies again. Then Insidious 6 for the next one. Exalted Old Man Logan, Shadow King plus... Oh, yeah, that's right. We're not using Odin. I think it was just... I think I had... Oh, boy. Noticing lots of mistakes. My goodness gracious. I think it was Johnny. I think Johnny or Quasar. Let's throw Quasar in here. And then, yeah, we... oh, whoops. Shadow King shouldn't be there either. It should be Johnny and Quasar, I believe. Or it might have been Johnny... It might have been Quasar and Blastar, actually. I'm not 100% sure. Let's I might have to leave that one blank there. I have to update it. Next one there, Omen. Omen and Shadow, or Omen and Shadow King. Symbiote 6, and then the last one here we use our Nick Fury plus Amazing Avengers. Last and final week. Yeah, we're in the home stretch now. This one I know for sure is correct because I did double check this one. I didn't check number 3. Daemon plus Bomb Burst from Mephisto, Undying. Spider Society plus Sable, Insidious 6 again, Exalted X, Fantastic Four plus Super Skrull, Omen plus Shadow, Symbiote 6, and then Amazing Avengers times 2. So hopefully it helps you guys out. I'll quickly dive into the gameplay. It is a lengthy video.
Let's get started. So the first one is fairly straightforward. We're gonna be able to auto it. You'll just use whatever teams that are available for the first couple nodes because they have no restrictions. We stick with kind of a more of a raid oriented approach, so we stick with using our Thunderbolts here for the first section, which is pretty I think reasonable because since a lot of people would have built these guys up for the from the previous raid team, and of course as well these guys were used extensively as well for the negative zone and some of the other content that was out last year, so it shouldn't be too hard. Just ensuring that you can get that that taunt on from Hyperion, and then from that point on, it's just focusing down on the Night Stalkers or Blade, I guess in this case. Once you kind of get through the taunt there, and it isn't too bad. Songbird does her thing. She's gonna pretty much nuke and take a good chunk of their health, and then Taskmaster and Victoria and everybody else is just going to do their thing and just absolutely wipe these guys. So the first one, I don't think people will have too many issues with. Even on my baby account, it's been pretty smooth. The second node, again, we're try to keep an emphasis on using raid-oriented teams and also trying to ensure we don't just slap Xavier and call it a day. We'll use our Orcus here as well, a former raid team as well here. I had built these guys up for the Professor Xavier saga, but this team works well even if you don't have high tiers on them. They're just very effective, and if you do have Orcus, you can literally hit auto. I think Orcus actually works on a number of the nodes, so you should be able to hopefully take advantage of that. But I just going through my cycling of teams here. I've just got saved. Just got to make sure where I got my spot here. But yeah, like I said, it shouldn't be too hard if you're using raid-focused teams because they have so much synergies with each other, and some of the later on nodes, you'll see that they have the raid bonuses active as well, which will give them a massive boost. But Orcus is really good because they're such a fast team, and if you can't stop their speed, they just overtake the node. And of course as well, there's a lot of benefits to having this team. We've got stuns, we've got defense slows, we've got revives from Scientist Supreme, we've got lots of AoE, we've got the annoyance of Sentinel Omega as well, and Omega. Sentinel Omega is or Omega Sentinel, I should say. I'm flipping the words here. She hits whenever somebody attacks, and then of course Sentinel is just he's annoying because he's got all these mobs, and you got to focus on on his taunts, and he's got Safeguard. And it's absolutely annoying to deal with. I remember playing these guys in the Dark Dimensions, and I think it was in the Odin saga, or maybe even I think it was during Odin's era when we were going through his Dark Dimension, and I remember this particular node where it was so annoying, and you need to get through the Sentinels to get to anything else, and so hence why we are using them here. They're very annoying, but they're also very effective, so hopefully you guys can see that there. Okay, moving into the next section, node number 3. This one we are going to take advantage of another key raid team that people have built up, and of course as well, it's even more important now that people are building this team up because of the fact that if you are looking to get more gear tier 20, gear tier 21 stuff, this team is pretty much the team you used before the Amazing Avengers in the Trepidation or T raids. So make sure you guys take advantage of this team here. They do a pretty good job here holding on their own against some pretty nasty nodes. You'll see we use immortal weapons again later on in other sections as well, just because they are so good in a lot of different game modes as well. But just their overall buffs and their damage mitigation at the start is quite effective for a lot of different nodes here. And obviously this one, I don't think I have to say too much other than the fact that when they spawn, Lady Bullseye does her thing, and then yeah, Swordmaster does his thing, and then yeah, pretty much it's game over from that point on. They just apply so much negatives to the board, and they also have so much positive buffs as well. They've got the safeguard. You can lengthen the safeguard as well. Multiple stuns. Yeah, what's not to like about this team? I don't know why people were. I don't know. I feel like this team got quite a bit of hate when they first released it, but I've really like this team, and we use this team extensively as well during the Thunderstrike raid era. But yeah, I haven't regretted since bringing these guys up here because they've been massive in a bunch of towers that we've had to utilize them. Actually, even right now when we had to use it currently for the Fear Tower on some of the particular nodes against Mephisto and Odin, they were quite effective. Okay, so now moving on to the next one. This is kind of the first section where we run into some trait restrictions. So the first three were kind of like nice give-me's because then you can pretty much use whatever teams that you're not using. But for this one now, we will take advantage of the fact that we have to get forced here to use some spiders, and we can take advantage of some nifty combos here. I'm a big spider nut. For this particular one here, we'll take advantage of the fact that we have Quicksilver Symbiote, but you can do it without him as well. You can run a full team without him and it still works, but because the Fear Tower is running and because the shards on him were quite easy and accessible, even on my baby account, I will assume that you guys have him unlocked here and you shouldn't have too many issues going through this one as well here. There's not really too much commentary other than the fact that when he ults, he's just going to do his thing and he's going to dish out so much damage. And keep in mind as well, guys, this is an arena meta team and it's going to probably be good for a good chunk of the year and a bit. So make sure you guys are able to take advantage of the fact that this team is going to be sticking around for a while, so you can pump a lot of your resources, a lot of your gold, a lot of your trading materials into this team and have pretty much really good end game value, much like the Fantastic Four. And even before the Fantastic Four, we've still gotten some pretty good use of our Black Cat and our Thanos endgame as well, which were former arena meta, kings of the time. So that one's done. We'll jump into the next one here. We're gonna have to use some Sinister Six now, and again, this is still, in my opinion, one of the best raid teams currently right now that we have access to, because not only are these guys good with raids, you're also going to need them for target LuckMarvel, you're also going to need them for Professor Xavier, and even right now they are potential candidates for myself for the Dark Dimension 9. So you won't really see too much struggle here because mine are really geared and tiered up. Tier 20 Hobgoblin and really Superior Spider-Man are just absolutely insane. They're not going to have too many issues with this particular node, and you should be able to just smooth over through this one. I don't think these early sections are the one that people have issues with, but for the sake of completeness, I want to include everything in this video because just in case if the Spider Tower does eventually have a rerun or something, then maybe it can help some other players out. And then of course as well, like I said, I've gotten a lot of questions on some of the middle floors, so that's the one I think will probably get the most amount of inquiries and questions from, because yeah, even right now I'm still getting questions about that. So anyways, once you get through that one, we're going into the city section. We'll be able to take advantage of our vigilantes here. They will be able to make some pretty short work of this particular section just because they're pretty much built for this node. And really, I think at the higher difficulty it is a little bit tougher, but for this one here, our Silver Sable is gear tier 20. We used her for Xavier, so she should be able to walk through this one pretty smoothly. You guys shouldn't have too many issues running it on that one, just so you guys are aware. And really, just once she ults and once everybody starts doing in some chip damage, everybody should just start critting and everybody just starts melting and dying. Just remember to keep the stun on Captain Sam. That's probably the most important thing on this particular node, and other than that, everything else is pretty smooth. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, as you guys saw there. Okay, so going to the another one here. This is going to be the first time we start going into the non-city / Spider-Verse areas, and this one we want to take advantage of the fact that we are using some of our former raid meta kings. So this is the Fantastic Four. Still such a really great team, and we've used these guys pretty much for every game mode that we can think of. Yeah, there isn't really much else I can say about that other than the fact that these guys have just overperformed everything that we've done on game modes. So these guys here will also do the same thing here. They're going to shine really well, and just make sure it's just like the Symbiote 6, right? You can pump your resources into this team without having too many issues. We also take advantage of the fact that null isn't going to be utilized on this first set of floors for the first week, so we'll also slap him in here as well for insurance. But other than that, I mean, you can use literally whoever. Most people will have null unlocked already too, so again, another key member of the Symbiote 6 and king of the arena. So make sure you guys are putting resources into these key characters when you can, and you should be able to make some pretty short work of these nodes here, especially once you open up with that null special. But yeah, Franklin and Sue obviously have to do their thing first, smashing the entire board across and making everyone just melt across the board. And no chance for this particular section here, and you guys shouldn't have any issues. If you've got Odin, if you got some other crazy hitters as well, feel free to slap them in here. For this particular week, we will try to refrain from using Xavier or Odin as well here, just assuming that you don't have him or them unlocked. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so next one here, we are able to go into another section now, and this is going to take advantage of our global characters. This is a good way for some of our key global members like Sentry, Jeff the Land Shark, Daemon. These characters are going to shine here, so make sure you guys have some of these built up. Obviously, some of these ones are pretty good for the dark dimensions as well, but making sure that you keep it pretty realistic. And yeah, I mean, honestly, you could use whoever here, right? You can use Professor Xavier if you got him unlocked, or like I said, Sentry's a good one, and he is regularly coming back in his his echoes as well, which is nice for people that are trying to get him unlocked. For this one, we will take advantage of the fact that it's a variation of a Brimstone. Plus, we take advantage of the fact that Sentry and Jeff here are going to be massive for debuff removal and also buff removal for cleansing. So this team is going to be good here. You're not going to be having too many issues here, especially if you have these guys geared and tiered up the way I do. They should be able to just smoke these guys with a couple of abilities, and yeah, once you start getting a couple kills here, Daemon's going to be able to feel his speed bar, and same with Jeff as well. He's going to be able to strip everything down and just rip everyone down to the studs, and they got nothing to hide behind. So there you guys have it, quick and fast. That is it for the global. So we just finished off the city, global, and cosmic, and now we're getting back into the specific traits. The next one here, we have to take advantage of the fact that we have to use our Exalted X-Men. I don't really see why people would be using New Mutants in this case. I mean, Exalted's kind of the meta now, and they have to be used for a lot of different game modes for the Age of Fear. So perhaps, yeah, if you haven't built up either of these teams, Exalted is going to be the way to go here, and you shouldn't run into too many issues with Exalted. We always try to put our Exalted with Old Man Logan as well, if you can. If you don't have Old Man Logan unlocked, I mean, he's pretty easy to get unlocked now that he's pretty much permanently available in the event section. So, I have some videos on that as well. If you're looking for like a baby Old Man Logan quick unlock with one team, I think it's in my beginners playlist or something like that. But yeah, you can start doing that literally at like level 70 or 80 or something, pretty low level, and you can get them unlocked pretty strong as well here. But anyways, that one was quick. For the purposes of this guide as well, we'll try not to use our full 5 Amazing Avengers, at least until we need to use them at the end. But we'll stick with Spider-Man and Hulk because I love those 2 characters, and we'll also keep Blade on here as well, since the Blade Tower is coming back and it's been confirmed in the data mines. We'll stick with some other variations here that I want to try for fun, but we'll see how this one goes here. I haven't actually tried this one before, but yeah, Nick Fury is amazing for this team because he can just give so many buffs. He's going to make sure your team survives a little bit, gives them the extra speed as well. For this particular one, you want to keep in mind full of the Cabal, Iron Patriot, and what's his name? Mastermind or Leader. I wasn't one to call him Mastermind. I don't know why. Those 2 characters are kind of the most dangerous. And yeah, like I said, our teams are pretty built up, so they should be able to smoke these guys pretty quick and fast. But you shouldn't have too many issues if your Amazing Avengers is built. And I don't know why people aren't building these guys. I mean, they're pretty much needed for the T-Raids, and they give you a whole chunk of gear tier 21 right at the end, but you need to have them fully built for those nodes, and I'm trying to get them built even on my baby account right now, so make sure you guys don't miss out. Other than that, that is it for the first week. Pretty quick and fast. Hopefully makes sense for you guys. Hopefully you guys are able to get through it smoothly as well here. We'll go into the second week, which is also pretty straightforward. I feel like it's when the second to third week is where I started getting a whole bunch of questions about the nodes, and I think that's when people were starting to look for guides. So hopefully that's helps you guys out here when you guys do get into those sections. For this one here, again, we refresh and our cooldowns are back to snuff. We're going to use our Vigilantes here against the Spider Society because this is a very, very powerful team. Even at low levels, these guys can perform quite well, as we've seen in some of our other footage and gameplay as well through the Omega sections. So for this one as well, no different. Vigilante is going to be able to stop a lot of the buffs here thanks to Silver Sable's massive ultimate. And then from that point on, you can start getting some crits going, throw some stuns, hit some damage, get the taunt going as well here from Daredevil to kind of keep the team kosher and complete and safe. And then other than that, yeah, it's the next wave drops, and it's not too bad after that. You just got to make sure you control Penny and Peter B, and yeah, those are kind of the most dangerous characters on the board. And as I've already seen, they're kind of the key pieces, right, to the entire Spider Society team. And remember how good they used to be in raids? Like, all right, I guess they still probably are quite good if you try using them if they're built up. But obviously, their time has come to an end since then, and I think they were replaced by Orcus, and then after that we've got our Insidious 6 now, which is another crazy tech team, which just bonkers, right? We need them pretty much for every game mode that we play. So yeah, they're a good team, guys. They're a good team here. So yeah, anyways, Vigilantes still doing lots for us and a lot of value. And some people might have avoided building these guys, so you don't necessarily need to have Vigilantes for this first one if you don't have it, but I like using them here because they were a raid team, and people have them built up regardless because we've had lots of time to build them up. Whether you are returning or if you're a newer player, Vigilante is still good even early game here, just to kind of get them slightly built up for a couple things in the game here. So make sure you guys do that up here when you can. Other than that, yeah, hopefully the footage helps and it was straightforward. Like I said, I don't think there's too much trickery with, I can't talk. There wasn't too much curveballs with this particular node, other than like I said, just taking care of the Spider Society first. The next node we'll jump in here is another one with no restrictions, and again, for this one you can take advantage of any of your key teams. Again, as I already said before, I'm a big fan of the immortal weapons, and this team here does quite well. You'll see that we are up against a pretty nasty Odin, and these guys hold their own in here pretty good. I probably could have reset a little bit and get some better RNG with the crits, because you can ultimately crit and kill Odin pretty much from turn 1, but it just depends on the crits. But for this one here, I figured, you know what, let's play through it and see how it goes. And even though we take a couple of massive bombs, I think, from Odin as well, we still survive because the immortal weapons have so much heals, they have so much defense, they got so much buffs going on for them. And this team here, like I said, is very, very good in a lot of different game modes, even when their bonuses are not active, right? So hopefully you guys are able to see that. We are able to, like I said, take advantage of the fact that Odin is kind of on his own here with a couple of stragglers, and they're not crazy awesome amazing characters, but the immortal weapons does some pretty good job here mitigating that. And like I said, you'll see that we do unfortunately don't kill Odin fast enough so that he builds his charges, and he does throw his ult at us as well. But our team is pretty built up, and we do use them in raids extensively too. So don't skip these guys, at least right now, because until we find out whatever next Mystic teams are, they're going to be sticking around for a while, and they only came out just around late last year. Oh, so it might be time for, maybe it's time for a new Mystic team soon, because they came out kind of late-ish last year, kind of right before Christmas, right? Right before the new moons, and yeah, so I guess we'll see. Yeah, it was actually kind of, I think it was around Halloween, actually. So we're getting there. We're getting close to them being over a year old. So, I mean, still got some good value. But like I said, this team works quite well here. If you don't have this team, you can also use other characters like Mephisto or someone to kind of take care of that Odin quickly and fast so that he doesn't build the charges up. Or if you're able to bring in, like, I don't know, someone with ability block so he doesn't use that special. But yeah, should be pretty straightforward if you run immortal weapons, and I'm sure you can use a whole bunch of other different team comps. Yeah, this one wasn't, I don't think this is the one people struggle with. Lots of different team comps work on this one, so just as long as you can stop that Odin and kill Odin quick enough, you shouldn't have too many issues Honestly, you could probably nuke him down with Jeff and Sentry and just burst his butt down. Yeah, obviously we want to save them for some later sections if we need to, right? So anyways, sorry, just kind of going on a tangent here. So the next team here we'll utilize is another raid team, and again, you guys will see that we try to take advantage of raid teams as best as we can here. Now this one, again, kind of flip-flopping a little bit because we did use Orcus last time, but this particular node is tricky because we need a couple of characters to add some variations to our Orcus, and that is Mephisto and, of course, as well, Emma Frost, X-Men, because she needs to be there to cancel out some of the speed bar, and she also rips off the barrier as well. Having those two key characters will make this section pretty smooth. If you don't have them, it's going to make it a little more difficult, but I think for the most part, if you're running this section, you should already have Mephisto unlocked, and you should have Emma Frost as well here. But if you don't, I mean, she's pretty easy to unlock. She's in the store. You can buy her shards. I think they're pretty cheap. I think they're like 3,000 store credits for a bunch of them, so fairly straightforward. But like I said, you want to open up with Mephisto's his awakened ability, his what do you want to call it, his I don't forget what it's called. I think it's just his first turn Mephisto pact or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, he'll take a good chunk of the Sasquatch's health, and then yeah, from that point on, you can pretty much take care of the node here. But you do have to take a couple of hits here, as you can see here. But we got lots of AOE, we got lots of massive damage here from our teams, and we could definitely for sure make some pretty short work of these guys here. Shouldn't have too many issues. Yeah, once we get Nimrod and once we get Omega Sentinel doing their thing, throwing some stuns, getting the slows, Scientist Supreme here to support as well, flipping negatives into positives. Yeah, you should be able to get through it pretty smoothly here and shouldn't have too many issues on this particular node, especially if your Orcus is built up like mine. The Immortal Weapons actually might work on this one as well, but I didn't care to try for it. I went with Orcus because I knew this team was kind of faster, and they're really built to handle some of these characters because they can stun multiple stuns here thanks to the special and the ultimates from those characters. And yeah, you shouldn't have too many issues other than that. Hopefully you guys saw that. Should be fairly straightforward, and we'll move into the first set of character restrictions. All right, going into the next one here. We are back. We are going to be diving now into the spiders. We want to take advantage of the fact that we want to save our Sinister Six. Well, you got to be very careful here with who you pick here from the Spider-Verse. But the Hive Mind works really well, and we are going to take a piece of Venom there as well here, just because we haven't built up from the Symbiote 6, and he's going to be able to do some massive damage here to help fuel the gauge for the other characters here, because the Hive Mind basically runs very similar to the Symbiote 6. I'd say they're like the Teemu version of the Symbiote 6 right now, at least until they get a rework. So they are able to get a ton of speed bar from the Carnage, and Carnage basically fuels the entire team. And of course as well, like I said, Venom, when he takes a hit here, he should be able to just one-shot anybody, just because mine's pretty built up, and you guys shouldn't have too many issues if yours is built up as well. But Venom is pretty massive here, and we don't really need Venom for the other section later on, which requires Symbiote 6, because we still have the other four. Null and Quicksilver together are already a force to be reckoned with, and Venom's kind of like overkill. You don't really need to have him in there, so having him in here helps us out, and taking care of Null, taking care of Red Goblin early on makes this node very straightforward, and you shouldn't really have too many issues after you take care of those characters. You can also use Spider Society on this one as well here. I did have gameplay footage on the Omega version running Spider Society, and that is an option as well here for people that didn't build up Hive Mind, because Hive Mind was a previous raid team as well here. I think they were before the... I'm just trying to remember if they were before or after Spider Society, but they were kind of one of those, the city raid bile teams or whatever. But yeah, I do miss them. They are quite good, actually. Being able to play them again during the Surfer Breaker, and using them as well on these towers has definitely for sure brought some life back into them. So that's just my take. This one here, just pure Insidious 6. Yeah, you're not going to run into too many curveballs if your Insidious 6 is built up. This one here, I will say, is you just want to make sure your Hobgoblin can nuke and get through some of these nasties Yeah, obviously trying to make sure you get the evasion and all the other stuff here from our sorry, our superior Spider-Man as well is nice. But yeah, for the most part, you shouldn't run into too many issues if your Insidious 6 is built up. And you need these guys for raids, right? Like, people have them built up already for raids, for Professor Xavier, for the Dark Dimensions. I mean, this is such a good team. There's not a lot of city villain teams that you can utilize, so even if you're pushing for the Odin sections as well, the Odin Dark Dimension, yeah, there's not really a lot of city villain teams that you have access to, right? So this is kind of it. I mean, you can do the Symbiote 6, but the synergy just isn't as well and complete as these guys are. So I mean, this is kind of the go-to team. And of course as well, like I said, you get that double dip action from the raids as well, so make sure you guys are taking advantage of that too. Okay, so once we're done that one, then we get into the mutants, or X-Men, I guess. We can use our Exalted here again as well, and like I said, I don't know why you wouldn't be using the Exalted. It just does not make sense anymore, because you need to build these guys up for the Blade Tower, because you have Storm in there, and you need, Blade Tower, you need Exalted. You also need them for the Scorpion Breaker. You also need them for the Fear Tower. So I mean, honestly, if you don't have these guys built, you're missing out on a lot of content, and I can only imagine that they're still gonna probably add more stuff for this particular team. But yeah, like I said, you shouldn't have too many issues here running this comp, and I do hope they bring the Storm Tower back, or the Storm Mighty, shards, right? Because a lot of people don't have her built up the way that that we do, because we climbed and destroyed that tower, but some people don't have that access, right? So anyways, once you get through the first kind of couple of waves of enemies, we're just cutting them through like butter and getting some kills, and Jubilee just fuels that speed bar for everybody, just like the way Carnage does for the Symbiote 6 as well. So very straightforward, shouldn't have too many issues with this particular one. Like I said, these first couple weeks is very, very straightforward, very give me. Didn't really get any questions on it, right? And then when we go into the third week, that's the one I think we got lots of questions about, and you guys will see some gameplay on the run I did as well here. I mean, the teams are quite, I wouldn't say they're like super challenging, but you definitely can't just auto it like the way I've been doing it with most of these other ones. There's actually like a little bit of a thought process involved, right? So I guess it also depends on your roster size, because mine's pretty built up for the Omega as well, so keep that in mind. Like I said, for this one, we're back into Cosmic. We'll run our Fantastic 3 again, and again, trying to refrain from using Odin, but we will use Quasar, because Quasar is accessible to everybody here thanks to his trials being permanently in game, and we just need a fifth here. It doesn't really matter who. We'll bring Blastar for funsies. This one should be pretty straightforward as well, because the Fantastic Four are just so fast together, even outside of the arena buffs. They're just so fast, and there's not really much ways of stopping this team. So once you guys are able to kind of get those initial bombs from Sue and Franklin, see whoever lives, you can kind of trickle them down. Also, Quasar's good here because he's faster than Odin, so make sure you can take out Odin so that he doesn't do anything to the team. And again, you shouldn't have too many issues, like I said, if your Fantastic Four are built up. Now, if you don't have your Fantastic Four, I guess the alternative here would be people are now trying to build the Eternals up, so the Timeless Eternals, I guess, would be a good one here as well, because they also are very, very fast team, and they also do quite a massive amount of nukes as well here, and it's good. I'm glad they brought the Eternals back into the fold. They were such a key arena team way back, so thank goodness for that. That'll be interesting to see how that shifts once we kind of see more of the shards of Gilgamesh, and of course as well with Thena joining this week or last week, or whatever you call it. Then we'll see how the team is complete. Next one is the Cosmic Villains. So for this one, we are going to take advantage of Omen, because I like Omen better. Omen's also going to give you guys more double dip value as well here when the Blade Tower is back. You're going to be able to take advantage of a lot of their key abilities here. The double whammo combo from Minerva and Ronin and Ebony Maw are just so good, and it's so hard to stop this team. Shadow King in here is a nice plus as well here. He kind of joins in on the whammo bammo combo as well. Lots of fun, lots of AoE, lots of cleanse, lots of heals, lots of hits, lots of pings. There's not a lot not to like about this team, and like I said, if you guys need to build up any of these members right now, I would highly recommend this team over the Shadow Conclave, because outside of War and outside of some of the other game modes, they still perform quite well, because any team that has speed control is always going to be the superior team. Minerva has percentage-based damage. Ebony Maw has a drain that slows them down and applies trauma. We have ability blocks from Ronin. We have ability blocks from Surfer Breaker, who can also speed himself up. So what's not to like about this team, right? I know people are very skeptical and they don't want to build these teams, but I mean, Omen was probably, in my opinion, the best out of the bunch that all came out. Like between them and Shadow Conclave, and heck, even I'll throw Exalted in there as well. I feel like this team was kind of super amazing outside of its respective game modes. Exalted they're pretty okay in Crucible, but outside of Crucible, yeah, you can kind of feel their performance is a bit lackluster. But Omen here shines really, really well, and you guys shouldn't have too many issues when you guys are running this one with the Omen team. All right, sorry, just get a sip of water here. Yeah, so the next one, we are running into the Symbiote 6. So if you guys recall, we did not bring our Venom into this one because we used Venom earlier on in the Spider section. So we're going to do a 4-piece Symbiote. Shouldn't have too many issues here. It is very, very straightforward, even with this one here, because Null and Quicksilver just carry so hard. And yeah, you guys should be able to get through this one pretty smoothly. I think even honestly, if your Symbiote 6 is built up, you can probably even run a 3-piece, honestly. But you know, use whatever is available to you. And Gore is a nice addition. You can also use you know, if you have some of the other ones built up, for example, like Symbiote Spider-Man, he'll give them more health to the team as well. So it really depends on what you're looking for or what you have access to as well for these particular nodes, but should be fairly straightforward. And finally, we will end the second week off here with our amazing Avengers comp. And again, we're gonna run not a full team here because perhaps some people don't have them fully built up, which is totally 100% okay. We are going to take advantage of a 3-piece here against Spider-Man and Hulk because those are key characters. Blade is also, his tower's coming back, so I mean, people should have access to him as well here. And hopefully the shards are like the Quicksilver shards, where they just kind of gave us, gave it to us, right? So hopefully that is the case here as well. And we'll take advantage of Nick Fury this time, and we'll see how this one goes. I'm not entirely sure if this one's okay or not. We'll see. If this one's okay. Damon does his thing here. And again, my Spider-Man and my Hulk are pretty built up, so I don't know if you should run into too many issues. We'll throw the stun here on Living Mummy because we're taunted and we can't do anything else. And let's see here. We can throw the special here from Spider-Man. He's going to dish out and kill off a few people. Great. Oh, the next wave drops already. Okay, yep. I never played this one with just a 3-piece before, so we'll see if this one can do it. Maybe we might have to... we might have to reset, maybe. We'll see here. Blade has the revive, so that's good. We'll just throw the special here, so we give our some speed up back to ourselves. And, yeah, we can revive our Hulk here. So we'll throw the ultimate here to give us more speed back. And I'm not 100% sure if Storm's even going to take a turn. But, hey, we'll throw the ultimate. We'll throw the special here for energy. Let's throw the stun actually on Kang because he's going to stun us, or he's going to ult us. And unfortunately, Living Mummy's going to do his thing right here. Okay, now we can throw the revive. We can get Hulk back up to the team for us. Hulk should come back here with some safeguard. Or wait, doesn't he spawn safeguard back? Okay, maybe not. Okay, I guess we can throw the ultimate. Okay, the ultimate kills off people, get some energy back thanks to the raid passive. Blade should actually be able to use his special or his ultimate again, maybe. We'll see here. We did get quite a bit of energy back as well. So unfortunately, Storm was kind of useless. So I guess learning lesson here is maybe don't use Storm. She threw the stun, I guess, initially at the start, but I don't know if she did anything else other than that. Yeah, we'll see if we live here. I don't actually know. Okay, so Mommy does this thing. Oh yeah, Blade might die here. So let's throw the special here. Let's see if we can kill off anybody here from Spider-Man's special. Good. Throw the special here as well. This will cleanse and give us immunity and speed up back. Hulk should be able to taunt here. He's gonna be nice and annoying for these guys here. Again, Captain Sam is actually pretty good actually for this one. He's actually doing pretty good. Okay. And also, oh, if you guys don't have the Amazing Avengers, you can also use Uncanny Avengers as well, because they also have a lot of raid buffs active. And I think it would be a good choice here if you don't have Blade and stuff built up. But I mean, people need to just start building this team because it's going to give you access to G21s, and that should be everyone's priority, honestly. Throw the special here. That should kill off Living Mummy, or at least his his first life. And then yeah, and that's it. Okay, we'll throw the ultimate here, or special, whatever it is, AoE, and then yeah, that should kill him there. Okay, boom, nice and easy. Okay, so very straightforward, not too bad. Okie dokie, we are getting into the section that I think I had the most questions about out of all the weeks. I think this is the sections that people started realizing that they looked a little different. So we're going to run our, similar to what we did on Mega, we're going to use our 3-piece Galactic plus our Mephisto here. Massive because he takes a huge chunk of their health and weakens everybody. And then that way our Quasar and our Blastar, and yeah, they're able to basically just nuke out the Odin before he takes a turn, and that's kind of the game plan, guys. You want to nuke him out here quickly and smoothly, and if you don't have this exact team comp, you're actually able to use the Daring Warriors on this one as well, but I'd recommend saving the Daring Warriors on some of the other difficult sections. This one is, in my opinion, pretty straightforward because we can use Mephisto here. You can't really use Mephisto against Daring Warriors, because they block all that speed, but this one works quite well because no one is stopping Mephisto. The next one, we'll use our Daemon comp. This one's really good, and I did find out that because we are running it on a lower difficulty, we don't actually need to use Sentry here, so we can keep our Sentry for the next node, and then you can actually do these sections without having Professor Xavier. If you do have Professor Xavier, please use Professor Xavier. Make it easier for yourselves. We try to not use Xavier or Odin, if at all possible, for these respective sections, just because my characters are geared and tiered up, and they are kind of meant for the Omega level. So I'm trying to give myself a little bit of a handicap, so that way we can also help you guys out. If you do have access to Odin and Xavier, then please use them here, because they will definitely for sure be very smooth sailing if you do incorporate them into the lineup. Now, for this last one here, before we go into the restriction sections, this one's important because Daring Warriors is quite a nasty team to deal with on their own, but we will take advantage of the fact that we can use our Sentry now. And if you do have Xavier, if you do have Phoenix Force, some of those other teams, definitely for sure take advantage of them here. If you don't have Phoenix Force, or if you don't have Xavier, then of course as well, having a Daring Warrior team will work, and we will take advantage of the fact that we can take our Sentry into this, because we didn't have to. Where the heck is he? Where is Sentry? Where the heck is he? Oh my gosh, I'm going crazy here. He is right there. Oh gosh. Okay, so take your Sentry, and you should be able to take out this one here, because he's going to cancel a lot of their bonuses. I think their bonus health and whatever else. And then on top of that, he also cleanses. The cleanse is what we want. When Sentry takes his turn, he's going to be able to rip off all those crazy positives that are making these Daring Warriors so annoying to deal with. We'll throw the special here from our Eclipse. We'll get things going here from our side. There may be a battle of the coin flips as well here, so you may have to do it a couple retimes and get the reset. But I promise you guys, if you guys have a fully built up Daring Warriors and you have your Sentry on this one, you will not need your Professor Xavier or your Phoenix Force if you don't have Phoenix Force built up. Although they should make the shards farmable for Omega Red and Magneto. I mean, those two characters are so... I mean, it's been a while already, right? We have not seen shards on them. So, anyways, once you kind of use all the ultimates and the crits and stuff, you should be able to get through it pretty smoothly here with this particular lineup. And you guys should get through it quite easy. Now, the other section that I've been getting lots of questions about is this node right here, number 24. We are going to use a particular lineup here involving Spider-Verse plus Weaver and Vulture, because there's some really annoying characters here. We have to control the board, and we have to control the charges on the other Weaver, and they also have the reworked Eternals as well. So we're going to take advantage of the fact that we can use some of these guys here on this particular lineup. Now, remember, we have to ensure that we don't let the other Weaver take a turn. If she takes a turn, she's going to get 5 charges, and it makes it almost impossible for us to do anything, because she's going to basically just miss everything, right? So the first and foremost, this team allows us to slow the other side here thanks to Vulture's on-spawn passive, and then he's going to get a turn in here, get the slow going, and we're going to stun or ability block Weaver, depending on who goes first. Black Cat and Weaver, I think, will always have a little coin flip to see who's faster, but it doesn't matter who you do it to. Just make sure you're stunning Icarus and make sure you're stunning Weaver. Those are the 2 most important pieces to control, and once you kind of control those guys, watch the turn meter. We also want to be careful of Dormammu as well here, because he's going to be quite annoying, but unfortunately the other characters are way more annoying, so just leave Dormammu last. We'll still try to do some chip damage on him, but he's not our priority. Our priority is making sure we can control Icarus and Xerxes, and of course as well Weaver as well. Those are probably the 3 most dangerous characters on this board. Luckily, our characters aren't super slow or anything like that. We have a ton of turn meter on them. We got the slows ahead, and then this also allows for us to gain ahead of them, and we also was able to get off the Weaver's ultimate, so that gives us 5 charges to dodge things around and to make sure that we can kind of do some damage, and also at the same time our team isn't fully maxed out gear tier 20 like we usually do. So this team is probably a little bit more closer in line with what the difficulty is calling for, because I don't have level 110s cruising through here. Everyone is either 105, tier 19, and we do have our Vulture who's built up from our raid teams, but other than that, like I said, hopefully you guys are able to see the gameplay, controlling those characters, and everybody else will kind of just start melting away here, and they won't really take too many turns after that. But yeah, Icarus and Xerxes being reworked is pretty massive here, and I'll give them props for bringing the Eternals back into the fold here. They did a fairly good job of that. Leaving Dormammu might be the best case scenario, because he's so tanky, and even as we're talking, he's still freaking alive. Like, it's just crazy how much like I said, it's just crazy how much health this guy has. So maybe going for him isn't probably the smartest thing, but we killed off everybody else before him, and then leaving him last, whatever, it is what it is. So he dies off here. Now the second most asked node that I am getting on as well is this 25, right, or 25, 24. This is one that is going to be a little bit more RNG based. The former Omega one does have Absorbing Man instead of Gladiator, but doesn't change much because of the fact that if you have a built-up raid meta team like the Insidious 6, you should be able to do some early hits here with Green Goblin Classic, do some damage there as well to kind of get things going. I actually did a little boo-boo. I gotta back out here quickly. We need to use the ultimate and not the special there. I kind of mispressed there, so either way, whatever. We'll go back in here, and like I said, this is one where people were saying how the Gladiator makes it worse than the Absorbing Man. But when I ran through it, I don't know, it kind of felt the same to me regardless. Maybe it's just RNG. My Hobgoblin is also level 110, just so you guys are aware. Everybody else is level 105, but I'm sure if you bring these guys up to 110, I'm sure it'll probably make it a little smoother for you guys as well. So anyways, the important thing here to note is you just want to make sure you can get a good amount of burst damage into the center here. When we use that ultimate here from Green Goblin Classic, he's going to also get a bit of rewind thanks to his passive bonuses there. And then, yeah, like I said, Hobgoblin being level 110, when he uses that special here, absolutely smashes. Just watch, boom, 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 clearing off a whole bunch of their health. And honestly, that's kind of it. Like, I didn't really see much of a difference from this one versus the one that I played on the Omega version. So fairly similar comps. Just like I said, it's just probably reliant on the size of your team. And my Insidious 6 is almost 10 mil. If you guys are looking for the size of them, we'll do a roster check as well, so you guys can kind of see it before and after. But yeah, I'll slap that somewhere in the video. Hopefully, I'm just remembering I should have did that actually at the start, but I guess not. Maybe I'll have to slap that in later. But yeah, hopefully you guys are able to get through it. And then yeah, when the Doom and whatever else drops afterwards, I mean, yeah, it's, you know, pretty straightforward. You shouldn't have too many issues with it, so long as your cooldowns are good. And yeah, Doom being reworked is going to be pretty cool too as well. I don't think they're going to rework this Doom. I think they're most likely going to make a new Doom, probably an MCU Doom. And this one, I mean, yeah, he's probably just going to get put in the back burner. So kind of the way it goes sometimes. Anyways, Red Hulk and Doom drop, and yeah, it shouldn't be too hard for you guys to take care of. If you took care of the other wave, these guys by themselves are pretty straightforward. Shouldn't run into any issues. So that is probably the second most asked section on that I've been getting on this week, and probably the first and probably the most times I've been asked is this next node here, which is 26. This is the one I guess people are having issues with because perhaps you don't have Xavier, perhaps you know, you don't have a built-up Exalted. But I actually didn't find this one too bad either. I think it just requires a little bit of strategic play on my side, and you just want to make sure that you're not activating the ult right when the team opens up here. You got to save that ult for the next wave, or not the next wave, but basically when they get the safeguard and everything after the attacks. Otherwise, it just kind of clears out all the, you know, all the stuff that we've laid out in the negatives. Yeah, and hopefully makes sense. Having these guys built up obviously all the way as well helps. Like I said, I don't think it was too hard. I did it actually on my first try, so I mean, yeah, I don't really see what the issue was. I think people were saying it was really hard with New Moons, but I think I actually found this one easier than the Omega, just because the stats are a lot smaller on these guys. But yeah, sorry, not to step on anyone's toes here. Yeah, I was getting quite a few questions about this one the most because people don't have access to Xavier, or they just didn't know how to counter it. And like I said, I thought it was pretty straightforward. I realized right away, I was like, wait, hold on a minute. If you open up with the ultimate, they're just going to clear it. So throw the ultimate after. And yeah, I think that changes the entire dynamics, right? So we'll throw the ult here, and then yeah, and then you're able to you know, reapply the exposed, and they've already used all their safeguards, so they can't clear that. And then yeah, once we start getting some kills here from Jubilee and Wolverine, then yeah, we can kind of get the boat going, and from that point on, all it takes is one kill and the whole train gets rolling along, and it's a domino effect. So hopefully you guys are able to get through that there. Yeah, having a bigger size team as well definitely for sure helps. Obviously, my Storm is like 2 diamonds, so this could be also reliant on a very massive Storm as well, and maybe that's why I'm, you know, found it to be quite easy, because my Storm's pretty built up. But yeah, sorry, I don't mean to step on anyone's toes here, and this is how I got through it. If it's easier for you guys, maybe try the Omega version and see if it's easier with the, because they run Xavier instead of New Moons, and maybe that's easier. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure which one would be harder, but for me, because we are running on a lower difficulty, the characters for sure felt a lot weaker, and definitely for sure when I used one of my abilities, you could see their health bars actually moving more so than in the Omega level difficulty. So hopefully you guys are able to get through it. Hopefully 23, 24, 25, I think those were the numbers, or maybe it was 24, 25, 26, crap, I forget. But you don't know, I think it was 24 to 26, but those were the ones that I got asked about the most for those sections. So hopefully now that clarifies things, and great. If you guys are able to get through it, then you guys can kind of smash through the rest of the tower and descend on those rewards. All right, so we're gonna move into the next node here, and we are gonna handle the cosmic section with our Fantastic Four. We're also gonna take advantage of Thanos' endgame here because he does a ton of amazing abilities here to be able to clear all the safeguard from these guys, and also a lot of buffs as well when the second wave drops with the Liberty members. So very, very straightforward. Just the typical openers from the Fantastic Four. Also keep in mind, we want to see if we can do our best here to get rid of Daredevil before the next wave drops, but not the end of the world. Save Franklin's ultimate so that when the Liberty members drop, we're going to have a way to cleanse everything off besides Thanos. And I find that having Thanos not beside Mr. Fantastic helps as well, because then he just gets triggered when, I think, when Punisher or whoever attacks anyways. But yeah, we get the wave dropping on us, and we're still focusing our damage here on Daredevil. Unfortunately, he still has that safeguard and the taunt, so there's not really any way around it. And then yeah, we should hopefully get a low lucky here from Punisher, and if we get some more splash damage, boom. This is going to help trigger our Thanos and clear everything for us. So we got a little lucky there having Sue in the middle. And then we can use the special here. We're going to use it on the far right cluster so we can take out a couple enemies as well here. And hopefully the pings from Human Torch help us out. Get that extra little bleeds. And should hopefully get the job done here. The ultimate from Franklin should clear off the mobs. And everything else should be pretty straightforward. Hopefully makes sense. All right, so going into number 28, we are going to use our Omen team with the Shadow, basically the Shadow King plus Omen combo. And this is going to be very important here. You want to make sure that yeah, you got to survive a couple of hits here. So having a built-up Omen team is definitely going to help. Our Surfer Breaker is going to help clear things off for us. And what's important here is we want to make sure we can take care of this Living Mummy. He's just really, really absolutely annoying. And then he's going to get that safeguard back up and the heals as well here. So he's really, really absolutely annoying. We'll target Doctor Strange so we can get the ping here from our Surfer Breaker. Rewind so we can push into the next wave. And again, don't use the ultimate just yet. Just wait for it because we're going to need it later on when the next wave drops. And again, we're just going to basic here, get some energy back to the team. Now we need to make sure that we watch out for that Shang-Chi. We saved Minerva's ultimate so that we could cleanse. And you guys will see here, Shadow King's going to use the ultimate. This is the reason why we have him here. This is going to help cleanse off positives, also heal us up a little bit as well. Living Mummy is dead, and then we should be able to ultimate here from Surfer Breaker as well, and should bring them pretty close to their knees here. And then from this point on, Ronin should be able to ability block everybody as well because we saved it, and you can hit auto from this point on, and hopefully makes sense. Shouldn't be too straight. It shouldn't be too curvy, bally after you guys have that under control. And we also have the special as well we did not utilize earlier on. So hopefully it makes sense. All right, so number 28 is done. We're going to go into 29 now. Symbiote 6 is Symbiote 6. Yeah, I don't really know if I have to comment too much. Very similar to the Omega sections. Literally throw the special from null, get the Carnage on, and then everything else is pretty straightforward. It's just these guys are a little bit weaker health, and I think there's less characters as well, if I'm not mistaken. But very, very straightforward regardless, and you should be able to get through it without having too much difficulty. Last and final node for the third week, and to finish things off here, guys, we are going to be utilizing a four-piece with our Nick Fury. This is the combo we use for the Omega section as well. This is a nice, nifty way to get ahead of the Null so that we can kill him off before he summons the darkness on us. So we'll take him out here before he gets a turn, and like I said, having him out of the picture will make things quite a bit smoother for us. So we'll take no alt, and then you also got to be careful because we also need to take down anti-venom as well here, just because he can heal off. So we're gonna throw the special on him, get some pings here from Blade as well, thanks to his passive. And yeah, from that point on, we'll use the special that should take care of anti-venom. And then the only dangerous characters left would be we have to get rid of Red Goblin and Agent Venom, which both can wipe the board. Even with our high tier leveled characters, this team can still pack quite a punch, so we got to be careful here. So throw the special there, or the ultimate, excuse me, not the special, so we can get some extra attacks in. Blade's going to do his thing here, and boom. And from that point on, like I said, just get everything onto Red Goblin, get everything onto you can focus on, honestly, after you get Red Goblin down, you just got to watch out for the Agent Venom's ultimate. But yeah, other than that, very straightforward. All right, you guys made it. We're in the final section now of this week, and we are able to kind of mix and match a few teams up here to kind of give us a little bit more flexibility. For this particular one, we do copy a lot of the similar teams that we use for the Omega section as well, because the teams work so well together. So this one, very straightforward. We're just going to do the basic here from Mephisto, and then Daemon's going to do what he's good at, which is just bombing everybody, and everyone should just melt, and then the Eternals will drop, and everything else should be pretty straightforward. Next up is the Undying Wet Dream. This team is pretty much built for the Undying. Honestly, I don't know if there's anything, if there's any strategy on this one. If you have the Undying team, you could literally hit auto and it's done. Now, if you don't have the Undying, you will be able to take advantage of using Xavier, or if you have Odin as well. Luckily for the run that we are doing, we don't use Xavier, we don't use Odin, so that gives you guys some options here if you guys have them unlocked. All right, so going into the Spider Society section here, pretty straightforward as well here. We just need to control the characters, just watch who's taking a turn. But other than that, we just want to make sure we can control Mr. Sinister, control Doc Ock. Kill Doc Ock and Mr. Sinister first, and everybody else will kind of fall into place here. Very straightforward. We have a lot of stuns and a lot of ability blocks just thanks to the utility of this team. So you shouldn't have too many issues. Mr. Negative's coming up, so we'll throw the ability block on him, so he doesn't have to worry about that. Also, keep in mind, when Silver Sable uses that ultimate, she's also going to be able to throw the ability block onto Doc Ock as well, because he is, I think, a Spider-Verse controller or something. I don't remember the exact passive behind it, but yeah, it's very, very good. So this ultimate will throw another ability block. And then, yeah, once we get all the negatives going, Paftir is going to do his thing as well and just start whipping his massive crits on these guys. Ka-chow, ka-chow, ka-chow. And, yeah, should be fairly straightforward. Hopefully makes sense. If you guys don't have this team built up, you could also utilize, if you're looking for like a meta team or like a newer team, because these guys are kind of outdated, you can theoretically build the Dread as well. And you can also use Weaver, Sable, Black Cat, and some other comps. I just found this one to be the funnest, so I was trying to make sure that we stay Spider-Verse-y within the Spider Tower, but there's definitely for sure other comps that work, and especially because we are on a lower difficulty, it should be a little bit more within reason to be able to do it without having too much reliance on the correct RNG side of things. Hopefully that makes sense. So just like week 3, week 4, this was another node that people had a lot of issues with. And again, I ran the same comp that I had for the Omega section. And yeah, I think the only difference was this one had the Gladiator instead. And it was just hard to take the taunt off. So unfortunately, when that is the case, there's just going to be some RNG involved. And it took me about maybe 3 or 4 tries. But yeah, ultimately, your luck is basically in the hands of the gods, and you want to just ensure that if Hobgoblin can kill off Thanos Endgame, great. I was able to kill him off in one of the crits, but then Apocalypse punched my my superior Spider-Man, and then it was game over. So then I had to reset. But this one was a good example here. We survived, and then Green Goblin actually got some good damage in as well here. And then yeah, and then once you start getting the crits here, you're kind of stuck behind this taunt, but that's okay because, like I said, we have a lot of great, powerful characters, and we're just kind of splashing these guys to death here. But yeah, you have to pretty much push the Gladiator down to, I forget what health percentage, but then I think he goes into stealth or something, right? If he gets pushed under, or maybe that's not him. Maybe that's somebody else that does that. I don't remember if it's him that does it or somebody else. But yeah, you pretty much got to just power through this one, guys. Luckily for me, I only have, level 110 on the Hobgoblin. But yeah, the other ones are all 105. So, I mean, you're definitely for sure going to need to bring some of these guys up if you're able to. And then, yeah, when you got whoever's left, you can just smash that auto button and let the auto do the rest. All right, so we're going to head into another one here where, yeah, it seems like a lot of people doing this on Omega and doing it on hard difficulty were running issues. So this one in particular has to do with timing. You want to make sure you use that Storm Ultimate not at the start, but you want to use it right when the second wave drops. If you don't use it, if you use it at the start here, it's going to actually impede your, your ability to stun the next wave, and that's the reason why. So we do have lots of characters here that can do some good damage already at the start, so we don't need to use that ultimate. Obviously for myself, I have a really built up Exalted X-Men as well, 6 stars on the new guys, and of course as well my storm is 2 diamonds. So yeah, obviously not everyone's gonna have these characters built up the way that I do, but I was pushing pretty hard on the Scorpion Breaker, so unfortunately that is the only caveat here. If you want to push through this one, it may be easier to try maybe the 5-piece. I like Old Man Logan because he throws the stuns around, but I actually found this one to be just slightly easier than the Omega difficulty, but still I found it to be very, very similar in terms of difficulty, because obviously I'm using quite a powered up Exalted X-Men team, right? So just keep that in mind, guys, when you guys are going through this one. Yeah, Sebastian Shaw is not going to do too much if he's stunned, but yeah, the next wave drops, and this is where having that Storm Mighty ultimate is going to help you guys out here. It's going to help apply the exposure or the exposed, and it's also going to be able to throw some stuns around as well, despite the fact that they have immunity. So this is the reason why we save it. So Storm does her thing, massive ult, boom. It looks like there's a stun that lands on Apocalypse, which is kind of crappy because he's just going to clear it. But we do get Omega Red not Omega Red. We do get Magneto in there, so I will take it. I guess they were the 2 fastest characters. I think that's how it works. But yeah, Old Man Logan's going to start doing his thing here, and it's all good. We start slowly doing our thing, and we're going to be able to take care of this. We're going to throw the stun actually on Omega Red. We just don't want him moving because he's just very, very dangerous. If you leave him alone, he does some pretty insane damage. So you want to make sure you can get rid of him when you can. And then from that point on, shouldn't be too hard for you guys. Should be pretty straightforward from that point on. Yeah, like I said, it's just we get the passive hits from Storm blocking Professor Xavier, blocking Apocalypse as well. And you should be able to get through this one fairly smoothly, with hopefully good RNG as well. Obviously, RNG is always RNG, but it should be pretty easy once you guys get a couple kills going. It's like a domino effect, as I already said earlier, where it just fuels that speed bar for the team, and then you should get some momentum going from that, and you should be able to handle the rest fairly smoothly, and we should be able to hit auto here once we kind of get down to the last couple nitty-gritty characters. All right, so the cosmic section. This is one I found that was quite effective as well here. I'm going to have to try this again maybe to see if this works on the Omega version, but Super Skrull is a very nice addition. I obviously did not want to use my Odin here because I wanted to keep the guide Xavier free and Odin free, so this is why we stuck it out. So Super Skrull does a pretty massive job here controlling at the start. Franklin, he's going to use his ultimate as always, one of the iconic openers of the Fantastic Four. This will help strip the taunts off for us so that we are able to use Quasar's ability block, because we need to use that ability block on the left side to stop the Doom. We want to make sure we can get it over to him. Also helps that we applied silence on Sue and Franklin so that their abilities don't really do anything to us. So throw the ultimate here. This is going to ability block Super Skrull, Invisible Woman, and it's going to also take care of the Skrull as well, thanks to the Striker on Quasar. Next, you want to just throw the special here in the center here as well, so we can get a couple more kills along the way. And feel free to use the special here so we can get safeguard and some death proof to the team as well here. This is going to lengthen some stuff for us. Once the next wave drops, should be pretty straightforward here. We've got a couple of the Galactic Council members. And yeah, like I said, Super Skrull, we should be able to center it towards Thunderstrike and Quasar so we can throw the ability block on Thunderstrike. I don't know if that's the best play. You can use it on whoever. I just wanted to hit somewhere in the center. And Thunderstrike's ultimate or special sometimes hits like a truck. So we'll just throw it in the center here so we can hit the most targets. Throwing the special right here is going to drain some of the positives for us and also re-lengthen some of our positives as well, which is kind of nice. And then from that point on, should be pretty smooth sailing after this ultimate. All right, so we're going to head into 37. This section here, we utilized the same team previously before from the last week. This is the Omen / Shadow King combo. And yeah, it's just very, very straightforward if you have these teams built up. If you don't have them built up, it may be a little bit more difficult. But Surfer Breaker here just smashes. Also keep in mind, if Old Man Logan and Deadpool or Gwenpool are alive, I do believe that means Pandapool can't die. So you want to make sure you can get rid of some of those characters before you kill off Pandapool. Throw the ultimate. Don't be scared to use some of those because we should have time to kind of build some of the cooldowns back up. And then on top of that, we have Shadow King to help mitigate that as well here when the Jeff Landshark drops. So that should kill off Pandapool. Or wait, I thought he doesn't die. Okay, maybe Shadow King prevents his revive? So I think I just got lucky there. So either way, he should have came back, but hey, sometimes you gotta take the glitch. Throw the ultimate here. The ultimate is gonna cleanse and also give us some heals back. And then yeah, once Surfer Breaker gets to his ultimate, most of these guys, because they are on hard difficulty, should just either get wiped here or they should get pretty darn close. So it should be fairly straightforward from that point on. Boom. And done. All right, guys. So Symbiote 6 is Symbiote 6. Don't really know if there's too much to mention here other than the fact that, yeah, just make sure you, just make sure you use the special before you get things going here. And then once you kind of get the, get the initial hits there, flip the positives, you should be able to get through this one fairly straightforward without having too many issues. And plus, the Symbiote 6 is a pretty broken team, especially against a slower team like the Winter Guard. And then just keep in mind when the Winter Guard team is kind of sort of dead, the Thunderbolts will drop shortly after that. All right, kind of nearing the end here, and yeah, this last one here isn't too bad. I think common mistake is people are trying to focus and kill off the Odin, which is a good strategy as well, but also keep in mind some of these other supporting characters are very dangerous as well here. So what I try to do here is I throw the special and I try to start cleansing some of the positives from some of these other nasty characters. Thanks to our amazing Avengers passive, this blocks off Odin's battlefield effect, and he also doesn't get any charges as well. Then with our Spider-Woman, we're going to throw the ultimate here so that we can just flip everything on Odin, and if he is able to get everything off, great. We're also going to start throwing everything around the supporting actors, so we'll throw the special here on the center as well here to try to see if we can cleanse some of these positives off of Sylvie. We need to get some of these off because they do a pretty good amount of damage if you leave them alone. We'll throw another special here from Blade. This should get a crit here from Spider-Woman Julia, so she should hopefully be able to take some positives off for us or kill somebody as well. That's great. And then yeah, Hulk, we'll use Hulk as well, same thing. We'll aim it for maybe somebody else that has positives, but yeah, we have to take a couple hits here. So again, these guys aren't doing massive amounts of damage, but you can see here that for sure you want to make sure you can target and cleanse the positives here. So we'll use the special here in the center so we can get some of the stuff off of Odin. Oh, Odin's actually pretty close to dying here. Yeah, you know what? Let's throw the special here. This will kill Odin off. Great. And then, yeah, from that point on, should be pretty smooth sailing. To keep in mind, because this is the Omega difficulty, you'll have less members dropping after the 3 here. But yeah, you'll still have a couple of members of the Shadow Conclave dropping after you clear off, I think, the last couple guys before the next wave drops. Okay, and there you guys have it. We've made it to the end. Congratulations. And also, thank you for putting up with all my chitter chatter and my boring ASS commentary. For this last one here, very straightforward. There's not really any particular strategy. Just nuke out Oath first, and then you go for Scorpion Breaker after. Other than that, I hope this guide has helped you guys out here. Like I said, I wasn't planning on making a hard version of this because I thought, holy cow, that's going to be a really lengthy video, but it is what it is. And I did see that I was getting a lot of requests about the questions about the floors. Why are they different? How do we get through it? And yeah, I hopefully helps you guys out. I think the floors are quite similar, and I did use very similar comps from my Omega version as well. So I mean, for the most part, hopefully this has helped you guys out here, clear what you need to do. And if you guys did find a way to get through hard and you got through all the floors, what I highly recommend is trying to do the Omega and seeing how many you can do on the Omega version as well, because they are quite similar. And for my characters, I feel like if you can do hard, you may be able to potentially do Omega as well here, because some of the nodes were very similar. And in some cases, from what people have told me, they said some of the hard nodes were even harder than the Omega ones. I don't know if that was the case. I feel like hard was quite a bit easier just because they had less health, less diamonds, less stars, less damage. But that's just my take. Anyways, let me know in the comments below if you guys have any questions, any clarifications on anything. Like I said, I'll keep I'll get the timestamps, and I'll try to get all the saved roster squads as well here into the description so you guys have something quick and easy to access. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for chiming in as well in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one.